So today we're going to look at some of the text string functions used in Arcade. And here's some of the more popular. There's a few obscure ones, but these are the ones you're going to use most of the time. So count will return the number of characters in the string. Find will locate a named character or character string within a string. And the key here is that the index starts at 0. So if you had 5 characters in a string, they would be 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Replace will take a string that you provide and look for it within the named string and replace it. And then left will return a specified number of characters starting at the left. So if I said left a value and 12, it would get the first 12 characters starting at the left. Right does just the opposite. It would get, same circumstance, the first 12 characters starting at the right and counting backward. And mid is you specify an index position in the string and how many characters to get. So you can pull something from the middle of a string. And then the simple ones, upper, lower, and proper case, convert the case of the string to upper, lower, or proper. Proper being where it will capitalize the first letter of each word. And then trim will remove blank spaces from the start or the end of a string, or actually both. And then split is an interesting one, and we're going to do one of these. You use a named character as the divider, and it will split the string into multiple pieces based on that divider. So if you had a string that had commas between the values, or a string that had spaces between the values, you can use these to split those apart. So let's take a look at this example. I've got a map of national wilderness areas in the United States, and you can see I've already got a pop-up right here with a text element that says the name of the wilderness region. This one is Coso Range Wilderness, and they all have the word wilderness at the end, and I'd like to kind of take the word wilderness off just so it would say Coso Range instead of Coso Range Wilderness. And there's our text element. Let me go ahead and expand that. You can see it's using the straight field name, but I want to do some work on that field using some of the text functions that we know. I'll cancel that. So let me go up here to Attribute Expressions, where I'm going to write my Arcade expression, add a new expression, and I'm going to call this name without wilderness. So it should function, it should be sending back that wilderness name without the word wilderness in it. So I've got some sample here. I'm just going to copy paste this in. So what I want to do first is try to use the left function. And to do that, I'm going to get the total count of characters in the string. And since the word wilderness is 10 characters long, I'm going to take that total and subtract 10 from it. And then what left is going to do is get the first X number of characters, and that X will be the total count minus 10. So let's see if we can make that happen. So first let me bring in the field that we're looking for. And it's name, like that. I'm going to use the left function. Start and stop. Now left, and I'll do this sometimes, left, to get the syntax of it, if I go ahead and type the command and just hit the tab, it will then show me that syntax, and I'm going to then comment this out. So left, it wants the value that I'm going to look in, which is feature name, and then it wants the character count. And I said the character count will be the total count of characters in this string minus 10. So if I use count, I'm going to go ahead and get the feature dot name. So how many characters are in feature dot name, and then I'll subtract 10. And let me click run and test this. And it comes back and says beaver space basin space. I don't want that space at the back, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the trim command, because trim will take the space off the front and the back. Now this is interesting. I did trim. I opened the parenthesis, and the parenthesis is red because there's no close to it. And here at the end, it's shown me a little red mark under there that says, hey, this is where a closed parenthesis ought to be. So I'm going to go to the end and close my parenthesis, and now all that red has gone away. And now I'll run it, and it takes that space out. Okay, oh, that didn't change. I wonder why. Well, all I've done so far is write this expression. I need to go put that expression in my text element. So I'm going to do edit text. I'm going to take out where it says name. And I'm going to add in, if I hit my pull down list for field names, and you'll see that expression is now on my list, name without wilderness. I'm going to put that in and click OK. And now it says COSO range and the word wilderness is gone. And that extra space is gone on there, off of there too. So that made it look really nice. Now I want to try that again, but I want to use the replace command instead. I think I can also do that with replace. While I'm doing this, think about how that might work. I'll add an expression. I'm going to name without wilderness replaced. Or how about name with wilderness replaced? So let me get my fields. So feature dot name. And I'm going to do the replace command. I'm not sure the syntax of replace, so I'm going to pull my little trick here and go ahead and type replace, R-E-P-L, there it is. Hit tab, and it puts in the full string with its, or the full function with its required parameters. And I'll comment that out just so I can have it for reference. So replace, the value I'm going to search in, the text I'm going to search for, and what I'm going to replace it with. So if I go ahead and do the replace, open my parenthesis, and again I have the red parenthesis and the red squirrely line there at the end. And notice also way over here on the right, it's showing me a red bar there saying there's something wrong on this line of code. Well, I'm not done yet, so be patient. The text I'm going to search for is the word wilderness. And notice I put a beginning quote, and it put the ending quote on there for me. Then I'll do a comma, and then I want to replace it with, and I'm just going to do empty quotes. And if I type one quote, it will type the second quote, and I have to put the parenthesis to close it. And let's see what happens. So again, I got Beaver Basin. Oh, I got that space in there again. I know how to fix that now. We just trim, and that looks good. And then I would still need to go back into my text element and click my pull down, name with wilderness replaced. It's going to look exactly the same because we did the same function. But that was two ways to do the same function. Okay, so I've moved on to another map, and this is the Canada Land Parcels map. And these are the parcels. You can see they have a label using the field designator. And designator is the full lot and block value. I really want to just label this with the lot number, not all the rest of that. And so I need to extract the lot number out of this field. Unfortunately, this data table does not have a field that's only the lot number. So I'm going to have to extract that out with an arcade function. So here's my expression builder. I'm going to call this expression lot number. And there's the field that you know, that doesn't look right. It's feature and then a bracket and a quote mark and the word designator, the field name, and then it closes. What we're used to seeing is this feature dot field name. In reality, these are the exact same thing. This one is referencing the field by the field descriptor, and this is referencing the field by the field name. And I'm gonna stick with field name. I'm gonna take this one out. And the way I'm gonna pull this lot number out, I'm gonna use the find function and the mid function. Now, it's important to note that some of these values have the word lot and some have the word split lot. But if I can find the word lot and add 4 values to it, 4 characters to it, 1, 2, 3, 4, that gets me to the start of the lot number. So I'm going to find the location of the word lot and add 4 to it. So I'm going to use the find function. This will be find, then the text I'm searching for, and then the target text, the text I'm searching in. So let's give that a shot. Find. The text I'm searching for is the word lot, and this is going to return the value of where that word starts. The text I'm searching in is the designator. And you know what? I'm going to put this into a variable because this is going to be a number, an index number of where the word lot begins. And I'm going to use that variable in the mid function to actually do the extraction. So var, and I'm going to call this number location, NUMLOC equals find the lot plus 4. And that'll be the index number of where the lot number will start. And then my mid statement, mid function, and I'm not going to put this one in a variable because this is actually going to be my return statement. This is what's coming back to the labeler. And let me get its syntax first. There we go. So what it wants is the value to look in, the start position within that value to begin pulling characters out, and then an optional parameter that's not shown here is the number of characters to extract. All right, so let's try that. Mid, the value that I'm looking at is going to be the feature designator. The start position is being held in that variable numlock, and I'm going to pull out 3 characters. Let's see what that does. Let me run it. And I got a space 19. Well, we know what to do with the space. I'll just trim that. Space goes away. Done. And we see the immediate result because this is in the labeler. I don't have to add it to anything else. So the lots are now labeled with just lot number. Makes the map look a lot cleaner. I know it's going to have the word lot. I know it's going to, I'll do blocks some other way, but there's lot number. Now there's another way I want to try doing this, and that's with the split command. So I'm going to go back into the lot number, and let me go ahead and just comment this text out because that's still good code. And what I'm going to try to do then is use the split function. And the split function, what I'm going to do is tell it the input text and then a separator text. And it's going to take the input value and split it into parts everywhere it finds the separator text. And in our case, we're going to use a space, and it'll split the word and the numbers apart, and they'll go into an array. And then we'll figure out which value we want to pull out of the array and feed it that index number. So I'm going to put this. I'm going to put the split into a variable because the array is going to want to go into a variable. So I'll do variable lot num equals, let's do the split function. The input text is going to be the designator field. The separator text is going to be a space. All right. Now for my return statement, I'm going to say lot num, and then this is the array now. Remember I said before that these variables can be an array, a dictionary, a single value, a text value, any of those things. To get the number out of the array, I'm going to say which index I want inside of brackets. So I'm going to put I'm sorry, that's a curly brace. Let me take that back out. Bracket, like that. Indexes always start with 0 in Arcade. So if I said lot number and indexed it to 0, let me run that. Hey, I got the word lot. What I want is whatever comes next. So index number 1, that's an odd lot number, but apparently that's a lot number, probably a track number. Let's go back and look at the map and see what that looks like. Well, it looks exactly the same because it worked. If it looked any different than that, I would have known it didn't work. So there's how to pull the lot number out of the center of a string using the split function and then pulling that out of an indexed array. So that's all we're going to cover on this one. That's all the Arcade you can get for a penny. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and you'll be notified when new videos are released.